Breaking the chains of negativity. The worst prison is not made of steel. The worst prison doesn't have guards or locked doors. The worst prison is in your mind. And you know its name? Negativity. Eduardo lived inside that invisible prison for years. He didn't wear chains on his wrists, but his mind was shackled. Shackled with phrases like, "I'm not good enough. I'll never make it. Things will always go wrong for me." Those chains kept him locked in a cycle of defeat where every step forward felt impossible. And let me tell you this, nothing is more destructive than feeding your mind with garbage. If you fill your head with toxic thoughts, it doesn't matter how much faith you have, how strong you are, or how big your dreams are. It's like planting a tree in poisoned soil. Nothing healthy will ever grow. Eduardo realized this when he looked around and saw that his friendships were just an extension of his weak mindset. He was surrounded by negative people. People who complained non-stop, who mocked dreamers, who said, "Why bother trying? It's just gonna fail anyway." He didn't notice it, but he was feeding on that every single day. And just like any diet, what you consume, you become. But then came a day when Eduardo said, "Enough." He understood that if he wanted to change his life, he first had to break the chains holding him down. And you know the first chain he broke? Self-sabotage. He started fighting that inner voice that kept whispering, "You're not capable." It wasn't easy. Every step forward, that voice got louder. But instead of giving in, Eduardo shouted back even louder inside himself, "I am capable. I will win. I am not who I was yesterday." And little by little, those chains started to weaken. The second chain he had to break was bad company. He realized it was pointless to train his mind if he stayed surrounded by people planting defeat into his heart. So, he made a tough decision. He cut relationships. Yeah, it hurt. He had to distance himself from people who didn't believe in anything, people who only spoke about failure. But listen, nobody climbs to the top carrying dead weight. Here's the truth. Toxic thoughts create toxic realities. If you want to change your destiny, you've got to change the fuel you're feeding your mind. Eduardo understood that. He stopped filling his head with trash and started feeding it with knowledge, purpose, and discipline. He traded hours of empty TV for books that expanded his vision. He replaced conversations full of complaints with discussions that pushed him to grow. That's when he discovered true freedom. Because freedom is not doing whatever you want, whenever you want. Freedom is having a mind so strong that nothing and no one can hold you down. Negativity is nothing more than a prison disguised as thought. With every chain he broke, Eduardo felt lighter. It was like he could finally breathe. And with that lightness, he started running toward his dreams. He realized it was never the world against him, it was his own mind. So let me ask you, what chains are still holding you back? Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's doubt. Maybe it's the people around you. Or maybe it's your own voice telling you that you can't. Whatever it is, know this, those chains only have power until the day you decide to break them. The secret is simple but powerful. Cut the noise. Feed your mind with purpose. Break free from everything that drags you down. Because true victory doesn't start with strong muscles or money in your pocket, it starts with a free mind. Eduardo learned that. He broke the chains of negativity, and when he did, he discovered he was free to fly. And you can too.